What's good, YouTube? I appreciate you spending your time right here, right now.
I woke up in the morning, I say I need one of those. They got me trying all they clothes. They got me trying all they clothes. I swear to God, I never wear a dress.
Now, guys, in today's video, I'm going to be explaining how to get a girl back if you fumbled her. Now, before we get into the video, I want to say I appreciate all the new supporters, all the supporters who've been there from the start. Welcome to the channel if you're new, and let's get straight into it. Now, guys, first thing first, you guys need to realize it's not over. The way you guys behave when you fumble a woman, you guys kind of tend to act like you fumbled a queen. You fumbled the best girl in the world. Guys, there's billions of women on the planet. Trust me, it's not over. And not just because of that, it's not over with the girl you fumbled. It's not even over with the girl you fumbled. You're probably thinking more about the fumble than her. A lot of situations, you guys think about the fumble more than the female is thinking about the fumble. Guys, it is what it is. You're human. You're not going to be cool 24/7, especially when you're younger. When you get older, then you start understanding certain things. You're going to have a lot less fumbles. You might have fumbles when you're older, but you're going to have a lot less fumbles. But guys, especially for the young guys out there, you're gonna fumble here and there. There's going to be a woman that you like, and maybe if something you say or something you do is going to result in you basically pushing her out of your life. So guys, it's inevitable, especially when you're younger. It even happens with guys when they're older. You know, women, they be on some BS sometimes, and a lot of guys don't know how to deal with women even going into their older phase when it comes to being a man. So guys, don't stress about the fumble. It's not over. And the way you need to approach it as well, I'm going to get into more points, but the way you need to approach it, if you are kind of overthinking the fumble, accept it. Accept the fumble and move on. It is what it is. I fumbled, cool. Alright, she knows I'm not the coolest dude in the world. You wasn't the coolest dude in the world anyway. So it is what it is. What did you really lose, right? So guys, first thing first, off the bat, it's not over. You're probably thinking about the fumble more than she's thinking about the fumble. Bro, just move on. Now guys, the second way to deal with a fumble and how to get a girl back, reintroduce yourself. Reintroduce yourself. This right here is so powerful, and a lot of guys underestimate the power of reintroducing yourself. Okay, let's say you were a lame, or most of you guys watching me aren't lames, so I'm not gonna say lame, but let's say you was being just weird, right? You were just doing goofy stuff, and you ended up putting yourself in a position where you said some goofy stuff or did some goofy stuff, right? It's okay, right? It's not okay to be doing the goofy stuff, but moving forward, it's gonna be okay. You can reintroduce yourself. Just go to the lab, work on yourself, self-improve. And I'm gonna get into why self-improvement is so important, but go back to the lab, self-improve, work on your conversational skills, work on your social skills, work on how you interact with people. If you fumbled because of the way of appearance, even though I don't really think that's a fumble. If it's appearance that you think, if appearance is the reason you think you fumbled something, right? Maybe you did maybe you put on a terrible fit or something. Go back in the lab and improve that. Improve the fashion, improve the dress sense. Whatever you fumbled, go back into the lab and work on it. And then guess what? Reintroduce yourself. Guys, every time human beings as a collective, we go to bed and sleep, guess what? When we wake up the next day, it's a new day. You can reintroduce yourself. You can, if you had certain behaviors in the past, when you go to sleep and wake up, you can change those behaviors in this new day. It's a new opportunity every day. So guys, don't stress the fumble. Reintroduce yourself to her. Just reintroduce yourself. It's really that simple. You don't have to overthink. Whatever you fumbled on, go and work on it and reintroduce yourself. And then she's gonna see, okay, you put in some work. You this isn't the same type of guy. And if you really put in the work, if you go extreme with it, she's not even gonna be able to recognize you when you reintroduce yourself. So guys, just reintroduce yourself. Now guys, the very next way to get a girl back after you fumbled is to move on. Now wait. I know you're thinking, wait, I want to get her back. How's moving on gonna get her back? Guys, when a woman sees you doing your thing with other females, then she's gonna think, maybe I was being a bit harsh. Maybe I was just rushing to conclusion, right? Maybe I was rushing to make this conclusion on this guy. Maybe he just said some cringe stuff, or maybe he said some lame stuff. Maybe this isn't him as a person. Maybe I just caught him at the wrong time. Women will start questioning themselves, especially women, because women will start questioning themselves when you move on. And the reason being is because women already kind of know that they're harsh. Women know they're harsh. They know that they're judging people straight away. They know they're harsh a lot of the time. So she can go back and think, maybe I was being too harsh when you are doing your thing with other girls, when you move on. But if you constantly keep giving her attention after you fumbled, right, and she's obviously not feeling you, you're gonna basically be doing this, right? This is what you're gonna be doing. You're gonna be driving the chances away that you can actually do something with this girl. The more you continue with this girl, trying to persuade her, right? So what you need to do is move on, right? So whether this is work, school, social settings, whatever it is, if you're around her and she sees you're doing your thing with other girls, okay, this isn't a guy who's pressed. She's probably used to guys being pressed about her not wanting them. When she sees you moving on, she's gonna see that you're not pressed, and this is gonna make you a lot more attractive than when you fumbled. So guys, yes, move on. That's a perfect way to get a girl back after you fumbled, and just make sure you're not constantly fumbling, right? Because when you move on, she's gonna find you attractive. She might just come and talk to you. She might initiate the conversation with you. Just make sure you're not fumbling again, right? Because you might not get a second, third. You're not gonna keep getting chances. Don't continue fumbling. Now, guys, let's get down to it. With all these points that I've just mentioned, right? With all of these points, if all of these points, the first point, second point, third point, before this point right here, if all of these points didn't work, then I'm just gonna have to tell you something right here. She probably wasn't feeling you. That right there is if you've tried all these points and she's still not feeling you, guys, she probably wasn't feeling you in the first place. One thing you gotta realize, there's really no such thing as a fumble with a girl who kind of likes you already, right? Now, there is and there's not. So there's situations where a girl could like you, but maybe she perceived you to be something else. Maybe you were playing it cool and then the goofy side started to come out. There is those situations, but even then, you being a little bit goofy and being human is not really gonna fumble the bag. So a lot of times, if you're in a situation where you've done all these things and she still doesn't like you, she probably didn't like you in the first place. Probably was playing female games, stringing you along, entertaining you just for a joke, right? She probably didn't really like you in the first place, because you shouldn't really be in a situation where you said some goofy stuff or you did some goofy stuff. The only time she could really like you and you fumbled is if you did some like deep type of stuff. Like you did something that will make her look at your character differently, a lot differently, right? So if you've done something serious, okay, cool. But if you've done something lighthearted, you're being a bit goofy and she's still not taking you back, she probably didn't like you like that in the first place. So the next thing to do would be to acknowledge that. And also, I'm not even gonna lie, when you acknowledge that, it's gonna tie into the point that I previously made. You're gonna move on, and then even then you can still get her back, because you moving on and acknowledging she probably didn't like you in the first place, it can make you behave in a way to where you're gonna move accordingly. You're not even gonna look at her anymore if you think she didn't like you in the first place. And then, wait, I didn't like this guy in the first place, but he's giving me no attention whatsoever. And you know how females are when a guy that liked them starts giving them no attention. So you might even start making her like you for moving like that. Now, guys, last but not least, you know what I'm gonna say to all the viewers who've been on the channel since the start, to the viewers who've even been here recently. You probably know what I'm gonna say. You've got to self-improve. Like that's some of the best advice I can give to guys who've fumbled women and you want to get them back. Self-improve. Reintroduce yourself. But when you reintroduce yourself this time, you're not reintroducing yourself with minor changes. You've reintroduced yourself as a guy who's self-improved. So you probably look a bit different. You're probably moving a bit different. You probably talk a bit different. When you walk in the room, your energy is different. That's because you self-improved. Guys, And don't do it for her. Don't do it for, obviously you're doing it to get her back, right? You're doing it to get her back in terms of that being the end goal. But when you self-improve so you're not doing the silly stuff you used to do, right? Self-improve for that reason. Self-improve for yourself. Because if you self-improve for her, it's gonna show you did it for her. She's gonna look at you like you're silly. You self-improve for me? You went on this journey. It's almost like, I heard a story, an interview actually, where a guy, I believe it was a guy, he mentioned that I think it was a female. It was a guy or a female. They got shit on, and basically they went on this success journey to prove the person who shit on them wrong. And it was almost as if, and then there was a reunion where the person who shit on them, they met them again, and the person who became successful was like, I ran it up, I did all this, remember when you shit on me? And the person who shit on them couldn't even remember. He's like, what? You did all this success stuff, you accumulated success just for me, and I wasn't even thinking about you. So guys, if you self-improve for a female, it's gonna be like that. She's gonna be like, you did all this for me, I don't even care about you. But if you do it for yourself, it's gonna show through your aura. Now guys, I appreciate you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and have a blessed day. I'm out.